Hi, I'm Marty Salt, and this is my dad, Frank Salt. And in honor of Veterans Day, I wanted to talk to him about his service in the Army, because he was in the Army from December of 1944 until 1946, the fall. And I've heard these great stories over the years, and so I thought we'd talk about them and share them with you. Do you remember getting your draft notice?
It was right around Christmas. I know it was cold because it wasn't used to being cold in Kentucky, and
What do you remember about leaving? Because you left right after Christmas.
it was cold.
Were you excited? Were you nervous?
No, I wasn't nervous. No, I was plenty excited.
You were excited about going?
Yeah, yeah, I hadn't been anywhere. And you go to Fort Thomas, Kentucky. From there,
So you were
Was it
18
trip?
years old and this seemed like an adventure?
that's right.
How do you remember hearing about Pearl Harbor?
On the radio, I guess it was.
You all came home from church?
Yeah, came home from church, and it was about 12:30 or something like that. A lot of mingling around, but there's a lot of mingling around, but if it's around Magnolia, why, that's what it was, mingling around.
Mingling around. So you get on the bus and you end up in Neosho, Missouri for basic training.
Right.
And I know you told me before the most profound thing about basic training was it was January 1945 and it was freezing cold. And you all were in pup tents
Yeah.
outside.
Yeah. That is, 2 or 3 weeks. So I forget what the day that was, but January the 4th.
Had you ever shot a rifle before basic training?
Yeah, 22.
Mm-hmm.
It wasn't much.
So, what do you remember about shipping out and going overseas? You shipped out from San Francisco, and you told me about that.
Yeah, we floated out of there, and they loaded up the ship about a week before, I guess, and it all went well, they said, and around noon it's pretty close to noon time.
Mm-hmm. Now you've
They
described
got
it.
in.
You've described it for me where you all soldiers were stacked up about 6 deep in bunks on the ship over.
Four, I guess, 4 deep.
4 soldiers deep.
4.
You just
yeah.
had a few inches between you and the guy above
Oh,
you.
we had plenty of room because we had headroom and all that. But we had 4, about 4 feet.
What do you remember about the trip over?
Not much happening. All just mingling, very orderly mingling. But we stayed with a group.
Mm-hmm.
And you stayed with your people because everybody looked exactly alike, so you didn't want to get lost. And
Everybody's wearing the same thing.
everybody's wearing the same uniform. They had all everything stripped off, and
Because you all were privates. Everybody was a private, right?
no, we were different ranks. Yeah, we were different ranks, but they had all our identification taken off.
Mm-hmm.
And so that they wouldn't, if you went down, the people didn't
They
notice,
could identify.
couldn't identify
Mhm.
you.
You ended up in India,
Yeah,
in Burma,
yeah,
and you were with the Signal Corps.
yeah.
What was your job when you were in the Army?
Never did really know.
Well, what do you think it was?
Well, you're supposed to be with this group. We were with signal repair outfit, and that means that anything signal
Related to the radio?
related, it was with it. It was with us. We were among it. And then whenever, as we there were more, we got things more identified and as to exactly what we were doing.
Did you like your job in the Army?
Yeah,
Did you like it?
yeah. We were mostly in just doing things. You had calisthenics every day, and we hated calisthenics. Of course, you do, because you got so much, and you.
Well, you
Go
were
from
in,
one job. You just stay with the same job with the same people all the time. Stay at the same job. Didn't do anything other than calisthenics. We did that, and then we got to dry land again.
so you were in Burma for a while, but then didn't you go to the Philippines?
Yeah. Well, after the war was over, which was in a few minutes. and,
Well, right, August 45.
Yeah, and so when it did that, okay, we disbanded the military right away.
Your Signal Corps?
Signal Corps disbanded them, and if you had a point system that you got so many points for for being there, you got 30 points, I think it was. And for anything that you did, you'd get a few more points. And I think I wound up with 33 points. But that's the way that you were discharged, is how long you had been in. And they counted your, in the Army,
Right.
and this is all your enlisted time.
From Burma, you went to the Philippines, I thought, because we had to retrieve our casualties.
Yes,
And
that was a lot of that to be done, but then got pretty dull pretty quick. Getting everybody discharged was really a
Ordeal?
no. It was so quick.
Oh.
You couldn't imagine anything being as fast as it was, and it was to me, and it was over. And they put another unit that I was in. It was still in the training section, really.
Did you like the Army?
Oh yeah, it's fun. It's fun. It was. We were in that and got discharged right away.
You made a lot of friends in the Army.
Yeah, you had to.
You were a close group. You all have stayed in touch over the years.
Yeah,
You've had reunions.
we had. They started that reunion stuff apparently while we were still on the ship, and we got. And I never did go to the first one until 1958. I was on up in there before we ever got to the first reunion. And it wasn't many in the unit. It was about 100 and a little over 100, I guess.
You were one of the youngest in the unit.
I was the youngest.
You were the youngest.
Yeah, it was a long time finding out where I was, but I was pretty far down the line. It was running into these people, and you run into so and so, and you run into.
What did you like about the Army?
I don't know. It was adventure to me. It just something was good. Whenever I got in this other outfit, was a rehabilitation outfit.
Did you write home when you were in the Army?
Not often enough.
Not often enough. I know, I know every time that you say the blessing at the dinner table, you always ask God to remember our troops.
Yeah, I don't remember that. But it could have happened. It could have happened, all right.
Well, it happens at every dinner that we have, and you always remember our troops.
Yeah.
I know you always say you had a good time in the Army and you enjoyed it,
Yeah.
but you definitely have an emotional tie to soldiers.
Yeah. Had quite a few. We had a few that we stuck with and had reunions with.
Are you able to explain, like, when we have Veterans Day, what that means to you?
Yeah. It's a holiday.
How long before you looked up Mom?
Oh, about 2 or 3 weeks, I guess it was.
2 or 3 weeks?
Yeah. It was in Louisville.
Mm-hmm. And you found her, you went by bus to
Yeah.
Louisville, found somebody, you thought
Yeah.
she was there, she wasn't there, you went back to Hodgenville, she was off, and so then you ended up finding her
Yeah.
within a short time.
Yeah, within that same day.
Mm-hmm. How did you find out about the end of the war?
Oh, we kept up with that all the time because at that time I was in a transportation unit, and we had GI trucks. Everything was GI truck, and we went to that, and they said, "How's the war going? How's the war going?" Yeah, hey, I think it's over today, and it was. So they had a bunch of fireworks and stuff like that, and these things were real things too.
Mm-hmm. Do you remember where you were when you found out?
Yeah,
the war
I was in a
over?
place called Myitkyina, Burma. Myitkyina was a heavy battle place in along the Irrawaddy River in Burma, and they had a celebration there. Just the little stuff,
Mm-hmm.
no big deal, because we was expecting it, because the Japs were fixing to fold in. When's it going to be? Well, MacArthur's going to call the troops together. And,
Do you remember hearing about Hiroshima?
yeah,
Hiroshima?
that's the first thing you heard about.
Had you ever heard of anything like that before?
Nope. Because they didn't have a war like that before. They just had shooting, yeah, okay.
Mm-hmm.
They sank a bunch of boats.
So you didn't even know something like this was possible?
No, no, you're not surprised at anything much that happens there. All you really are aware of is what's right around you. And you're interested in war and or fight down the street.
Do you remember how you found out about Hiroshima? Did you find out from other soldiers? Did you find out with a newspaper? Did you find out with a radio? Or do you remember how you first found out about us bombing Hiroshima?
Probably the name itself, because we didn't know what that was, and don't yet. And they just started that, but that wasn't the end of the war. It wasn't the Hiroshima. It wasn't to us anyway. We were still.
You still had.
We were still floating.
Did you like the Army?
Yeah, it was fun, and not enough to re-enlist.
Okay. People have often complained about the food in the Army, but you said it was pretty good.
Yeah, it was.
You liked it.
Yeah, ate it.
What was the best thing they fixed? What did you like best?
Christmas dinner, which we had 2, 3 Christmas dinners, I guess, on because they didn't all happen on Christmas Day.
Oh.
And it was all out from under the canopy of the ship.
Well, thanks, Dad, for sharing stories once again about the Army. They're always fun to hear. I've heard them all of my life. And now it's a chance for a few other people to hear about your days in the Army. Mm-hmm.
That's because you have to wear a uniform.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Did you get any care packages from home? Did Ibby?
Yeah.
Ibby and them send you?
Yes, taking machine.
Mm-hmm.
And whenever they'd get a reel of it, I guess, then they'd send it off and send it to the post office.
Mm-hmm. Did you all ever see movies or anything like that? Did they?
Yeah, we had movies quite often. But they're in 16 millimeter film,
Mm-hmm.
and what they made 16 millimeter out of that day, well, what you had. We had one of these movies that the ladies it made a big deal here.
Who was the big?
There's so much now, whether I don't remember them, I don't remember that there's a lot of veterans out there now.
That
Came
one?
down.
Where was it?
Charleston? That would have been 2002. Fall of 2002.
We do hold hands still, Marty.
I know you do. That's why I'm
Once
having
in
to
a while,
hold hands,
yeah.
because this is something you naturally do.
Something you're familiar with.
Yeah.
No cameras on us.
No camera. Got up in church and read that time.
Oh, yeah. Do you want anything of them, not that we have to add it, but I could get a photo album to come through?
Look at each other,
And smile.
laugh real big.
There we go. Let me just take one more picture and it'll be done. And look at each other one more time. There we go. Okay.
Picture.
That. I got one like that.
And Sam.
Yeah. That's one of our Christmas dinners.
Old enough to go in the archives now.
Uh-huh. Well, Eddie looks like Clinton out there, doesn't he?
Yeah, he does.
Oh, that. Is that Myra? That's not Myra, is it?
I don't know.
I don't believe it is. It looks a little bit like her.
He made a issue out of it too.
He made a officer, did he?
Yeah, he made a four.
4-star general? Is
No.
it 4-star? Well, I guess no, because 4-star is.
Not 4-star. Oh, look at Oh, look at there, look at there.
2,
2.
3. All right. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Dad. Happy birthday to you.
Thanks, Marty.
Okay. You blow them out?
You gonna melt it out?
You gotta blow them. If we did 89 candles, we might be calling out
You'd
the
be
fire
dizzy
department.
time you got through.
That's pretty. 89.
89.
I thought it was 90.
Next week is her 93rd birthday.
Really? Wow.
Yeah, Mom has to have,
Diane set me straight on that. I thought mine was 94 and she said it was 93. Is that awful?
yeah, always have to be corrections.
Oh, yeah.
Right.
That looks good.
Yeah, I hope it is. These Publix cakes usually come out pretty well.
The fires in California was getting close to Sacramento. That's
Oh,
where
were
Bob
they?
used to be. wasn't it?
Mm-hmm.
Who is?
The fires Mom was talking about are getting close to Sacramento, and Bob used to work out in Sacramento.
Oh, is that right?
Mm-hmm.
So do you remember going under the Golden Gate Bridge when you left? Do you remember that?
Mhm.
I bet that was something.
It is something, cause that is big, and you see a picture of it, it's far off. It's not very big, no big deal. They're built and out from the ship and far away, so you can get enough you can get enough there